Welcome to a championship week edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready, Greg Jones, Caroline McCready with me, as they have been for the previous 13 weeks. It's hard to believe that we started this back in early September, and here we are. It's championship week, conference championships this Friday and Saturday, the college football playoff, all the New Year's Six bowls and all that stuff gets set on Sunday morning. The college football season, the regular season is over. Here we are in the postseason. It's kind of difficult to believe. So we will talk about all the games and all of that in a moment. First, I want to tell you that we're brought to you each and every week by LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. It is the place to go, especially, well, all times of year. But this time of year, you got holidays, you got parties, you got stuff. You're getting ready for the big Christmas Eve dinner, your Christmas Day dinner, maybe some of your New Year's things that you have planned. You want to make sure that you have great product, and the only place to get that is LB's Meat Market, right across from Kroger. Let Kroger be your landmark, and then head over to LB's. It's fantastic. You walk in, you have the best beef, pork, chicken, seafood, accoutrements, the mushrooms, the jalapenos, the everything. Plate lunches on Thursday and Friday, and starting now on Tuesdays and Thursdays, $3 off everything in the frozen section. When you walk in the door, it's right there on your left. Everything's frozen. It's fantastic. If you're not in a big hurry and you've got a couple hours to come home and submerge it in some cold water and let it thaw, you're going to save yourself $3 right on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So be thinking about that as you start getting ready for some of your weekends and parties and whatnot. So anyway, Greg, Caroline, how are you guys?
Awesome.
Good.
How was
Ate too much food. Ate way too much food.
How was Thanksgiving? How was your what did you do with the turkeys, Greg?
It was wonderful. I just showed up and I ate. So it was kind of a win-win for me. All I had to do was eat. So unfortunately, I was a little late, but I got there right at the right time when everybody was finishing. So I kind of played cleanup, and I had whatever I wanted. It was great.
That's awesome. Caroline, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was nice to be home for a week.
Yeah, it was good to have you home for a week. All right. So I got, I guess, bad news for both of you, but the good news is that there's bad news for both of you. I mean, that's the good news, right? Misery loves company in these picks contests like this. Greg, last week was a veritable disaster for you. You went 2-9.
Okay. Did I do that too?
Caroline, you did not go 2-9. You went 3-8. So you picked up a game on Greg despite going 3-8. You caught a break. You dodged a bullet. All of those things. You both are still above 500. Greg, you're 67-64 for the year. Caroline, you're 71-60. So your lead has been extended to 4 games over Greg as we get ready to go into a championship weekend. So keep in mind that
I feel like Brian Scott Rippey after reading back those numbers.
We won't have a show next week. We won't do the Army-Navy game. We just cheer for both sides. In the Army-Navy game, we just cheer for the Army and the Navy. It seems appropriate that we just support them both, even though I have 2 Army helmets back here behind me. So I will cheer for Army because I have a connection with Army, but I don't want to hate the Navy. So I'll just stick with cheering for Army. And then we'll come back in a couple of weeks. We'll I don't know exactly what day, but we'll have our big bowl bonanza where we'll pick the bowl games. Get yourself mentally ready for that, Caroline. It's a slog. There's a lot of games, and so we'll pick a lot of games, and that's going to go a long way towards determining sort of where we are. But you'll have the month of January. We'll switch to the NFL, where Greg probably will have a decided advantage over you. So this is your opportunity to sort of build a lead here and see if you can hold on through the NFL playoffs.
Okay.
Feel good about that?
No, I got to do my research on the NFL teams.
Okay.
I don't know a thing.
It's all about staying in the saddle. Like, stay on the horse. You're in the lead. Just make sure
just keep it up.
Finishes the race.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready to dive into these?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ready.
All right, Caroline, you won last week, so you get to go first. Those are the rules. It's on Friday. It's the Conference USA Championship game. It's New Mexico State is at Liberty. This game at Liberty, since they finished first in the league. It's a 6:00 game on CBS Sports Network. The Aggies of New Mexico State, Caroline, are an 11-point underdog.
Didn't Arkansas play New Mexico State?
No, Auburn.
Auburn played New Mexico State. New Mexico State went to one.
And they're the ones that beat Auburn.
They did beat Auburn.
All right.
Liberty came to Arkansas last year and beat you.
Yes. I'm going to go with New Mexico State.
All right. Greg, she's going to take the Aggies and the 11 at Liberty.
I'm going to agree with her. I have my sister knows Jerry Krill. I think he's the head coach.
Jerry Kill, yep.
Yeah, and she was kind of butthurt. She wanted Mississippi State to hire him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the family angle, but anyway. No, she was just playing favoritism. She knows the coach, and she thinks very highly of him. So
yeah, great guy, hell of a coach too. Look, New Mexico State when he got there was the worst program in the country.
I remember they were like 35 and 40-point underdogs. I mean,
yeah, they didn't win a game for like 2 years. So, all right, the Pac-12 championship, big stakes here. The winner probably makes the Final Four, the college football playoff. It's Oregon and Washington, Greg. It's a 7:00 game on ABC. This game being played at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Oregon is a 9-point favorite against the Huskies.
I'm going to say that's a pretty big number for a championship game, and especially when Washington's already beat them once. I will say it's hard to beat a team 2 times, especially in the same year. I know that's a NFL kind of cliche or something like that, so or some kind of sport cliche. So I'm going to go with Oregon. I think they're playing the better ball right now, and I think they're maybe 2 touchdown better than Washington. So I'm going to go with the Ducks.
Okay, interesting. Washington won this game the first time, but that's been a minute since that went down. Oregon, a 9-point favorite, Caroline, and Greg's going to take the Ducks and lay those points.
I'll take Washington.
Any particular reason?
No, I just sometimes think it adds some competition if me and Greg pick different ones.
Okay. All right.
So I don't really know. I don't know which one I'd pick.
But she's just being the bookie. She's being the bookie right now. She's being the house.
I can't decide what I think about that game. I kind of like the points because it feels like it's going to be so tight, but Oregon's the better team right now. All right, we go to Saturday's games. Big 12 championship at AT&T Stadium there in Arlington. It's Oklahoma State and the Texas Longhorns. This is at 11 a.m. on ABC. Caroline, Texas is a 13-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Texas.
All right, Greg, she's gonna take the Horns and lay a couple scores.
I'm going to take Oklahoma State. I got a buddy that's going to the game, and he's going to go be on the sidelines, and he's going to be wearing Oklahoma State stuff. So hopefully that angle helps out for me. So
usually it's Caroline with the angles. This week it's Greg with the angles. All right, Greg, we'll see if you had an angle on this one. It's the MAC championship. Miami of Ohio is playing Toledo this game at Ford Field in Detroit, 11 a.m. ESPN. Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawks. The Red Hawks are an 8-point underdog against Toledo.
I like the Rockets. I like just because they play in the Glass Bowl.
They do. It's the Toledo Rockets and the Akron Zips. I always get them confused a little bit, but Toledo's the Rockets. Greg's going to take Toledo and lay the 8 against Miami of Ohio, Caroline.
I'm going to agree with Greg. I'm going to take Toledo too.
Okay. All right, we go to the Mountain West Conference Championship game. It's Boise State at UNLV. This game, 2:00 on Fox there in Las Vegas. Boise, Caroline, is a 2.5-point favorite on the road against the Rebels.
I'm going with Boise State.
Really? Why?
Because it's not where Sarah Perry goes.
I was going to say you have an angle here. There.
I have an angle. UNLV has a good dance team, but I'm not going to take the dance team angle today. I'm going to do friend angle.
Yeah. Family over dance team.
Yeah.
So shout out to Sarah Perry. Sarah, I'm sure you're watching the show. I'm sure you watch religiously. She's going to go with Boise State, going for a Mountain West championship, Greg. And Caroline's going to lay the 2.5 in Vegas.
Well, I'm going to take the Running Rebels. Why not take Vegas in Vegas?
Barry Odom's done a fantastic job there, the former Arkansas defensive coordinator. As first-year head coach at UNLV, they've done a remarkable job. All right, the SEC championship game. We've been picking games all year, and what a shock. It comes down to Alabama and Georgia. Who would have ever imagined that? I think, Greg.
Can you bet on that? Is there any way you can bet on like who's going to play in the SEC?
Yeah, futures.
I mean, obviously you can bet on anything.
Yeah, you can bet on anything. But yeah, for the year, you can go to Vegas and bet futures as to who's going to play for the title.
Wow. I mean, why not just do that every time?
It's Georgia and Alabama, Greg. It's a 3 p.m. game on CBS, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The last SEC game on CBS. We'll say goodbye to the song. The dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 dun. No more. So after this, it's over. Yep. No more after this. So Georgia, a 5-point favorite against the Tide.
So what's going to happen with that? They're just going
They'll have to come up with a new song. Or
Why?
Because the SEC is moving off of CBS. This is the last game. Next year, the SEC will be on ABC and ESPN. The deal with CBS is over on Saturday.
I like that song.
Yeah, everybody knows that song. You hear?
Everybody knows it.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, in there, there's a Instagram where the guys are on the bridge and he turns on the and everybody's dancing and they play that song. And I really like that Instagram.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's the SEC music with it's a bunch of guys and they play it and just like a bunch of guys fall in and they all start dancing.
Are they dancing to it?
Yeah, they're dancing to it and then they just edit it and put the SEC music on the video. It's kind of funny.
All right, Greg, we got Georgia and Alabama. The Dogs a 5-point favorite.
Man, it just seems like Alabama's destined after that, shot in the end zone. But Georgia's Georgia, and I don't know if this Alabama team's good enough to knock them off. But I would hate not to take Alabama, but Georgia's I think is a better team. I think they'll win by a touchdown.
All right, Caroline, he's going to take Georgia and lay 5 against the Tide.
I'm going to take Georgia too. I think it'll be a close game.
All right, both of you picking Georgia to win by at least a score. So that's interesting. All right, we go to New Orleans. It's the American Athletic Conference Championship game, Caroline. It's SMU getting 4 points at Tulane. This game in New Orleans, 3:00 on ESPN.
Yeah, I'll go with Tulane. I don't really. One of Campbell's best friend's dad used to coach there, but
Coach Conway coached at Tulane for a long time with the current coach Willie Fritz. So all right, she's going to take Tulane and lay the 4. Greg,
I'm pulling for SMU. I don't want Ole Miss to play SMU in the Peach Bowl, or supposedly that's what the rumor is.
All right, so you're going to go SMU plus the 4.
Yeah, I'd love the money line. Play spoiler.
All right, Sun Belt Championship. The hot Appalachian State Mountaineers having to go to Troy to face the red-hot Troy Trojans. My good friend John Summerall and the Trojans have won 9 in a row, going for back-to-back Sun Belt Conference championships. This game's at 3:00 on ESPN. The Trojans, Greg, I think it's Caroline, your turn, right? No, it's Greg's turn. Greg, the Trojans are a 6.5-point favorite.
Oh, John Summerall almost was about to be relocated, right?
I think he was going to get the Kentucky job on Saturday night if that had held up. Yeah.
That's all my Kentucky friends were like, oh, bring back John Summerall. I like him. So, no, I'm going to go with John Summerall. I like him. I think he's a sneaky good young coach. Somebody needs to snag him up.
Won't be long. Won't be long at all. Caroline, he's going to take the Trojans, lay the 6.5.
I'm going to agree.
Okay. All right, we get to one of the interesting games. 2 games left. These are both pretty interesting in different ways. The Big Ten Championship, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Carolina. It's Michigan coming off the win over Ohio State, facing Iowa. This game is a 23-point line. Iowa getting 23 points against the Wolverines.
23 points is just a lot. But
there's a bet right now that you can bet that Iowa doesn't score in the first half.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, Iowa is
like plus. It's like plus a hook. Like plus a hook.
I was very, very good on defense and not so hot on offense.
I'm going to go with Michigan. I just think that's a lot of points.
So you're going to take Michigan and lay the points. All right. She's going to lay 23, Greg.
Well, do you think Iowa's going to score in the first half?
You asking me or Caroline?
Anybody.
If they do, it'll be a defensive score, a punt return, a blocked punt, a fumble, an interception.
A 60-yard field goal.
I mean, I'm not sure they can even get in field goal range unless they create a turnover.
Hey.
But they're good enough to create the turnover. That's the thing, is like we laugh at it, and yet defensively they do really good stuff. I mean, they make stuff happen defensively.
Yeah,
routinely.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of points. But Michigan, man, they're on a. Well, they lost that lineman, so that I don't know if that was a big. I mean,
he's a great player.
All right, I'm going to go for a slobber knocker. I'm going to take Iowa. I'm going to see if it. I'm hoping 14-7.
Okay, Greg going to take the Hawkeyes to keep it remotely close. All right, the other game, the last one, the Atlantic Coast Conference title game. Greg, it's Louisville and Florida State. This is game 7:00, ABC, Bank of America Stadium there in Charlotte. Louisville, Greg, a 4.5-point underdog coming off their loss to Kentucky, playing a Florida State team that is not the same without their starting quarterback.
Man, I'm going to go with Florida State for some strange reason. They might have a lot of character on that team and fight. I mean, that win in Florida, that was big. I think they were down a couple, double digits at one point against Florida. So I think they'll show some character and find a way to get it done.
All right, Caroline, he's going to take the Seminoles and lay the 4.5 against the Cardinals.
I'll agree with him.
All right, you're both going with the Noles, okay? So y'all have some differences this week. Y'all have some similarities, some differences. We still have plenty of time. We don't have to pick the big gamble with picks. Should be.
No, I had to ask you a question. How do you feel about A&M's hire?
I think Mike Elko. I think he'll do a good job. I question why they did the whole dog and pony show last week with Stoops. Like, what was the point? They seemed to be set on Elko all along, and then they deviate for a minute. It felt like an agent play of some sort, but it was a weird move. And I
wonder how many dollar zeros and went particular ways on that deal. Probably somebody told me that Mark Stoops is got a buyout from A&M to not take the job or something like that.
Yeah. So since he was the head coach for 30 minutes, he only got $27 million. That was an interesting night because I went to bed thinking Mark Stoops was the head coach at Texas A&M, and then.
Oh yeah, my Twitter, all my Kentucky being they were like, Mark stuff. But I mean, he built up Kentucky he's a pretty solid coach. I mean, he's probably he gets good coordinators. I think a lot of his coordinators are. I don't know.
Caroline, what's everybody saying in Fayetteville about Bobby Petrino coming back?
Oh, it was kind of crazy. I feel like nobody cares, though. We're just like, okay. People more so care here about basketball.
Yeah, big basketball game for you guys. As we tape this on Wednesday night, big game there. You didn't get in the line a day and a half early, so you can't go.
No, I did not. It is like literally a campground out there. Like there's like tents everywhere. Which
I wish Ole Miss would do that. I mean, man, they've got a really. I went to the game last night. I mean, with Cisse being eligible, I mean, they're sneaky good, man.
I said this earlier Wednesday morning. That's where Ole Miss is trying to get to, and they have the right kind of guy to do it. And Chris Beard. I mean, I think if you look around the league at, not counting Kentucky, right, where it's just this traditional thing. You look at the job that Bruce Pearl's done at Auburn, getting people excited about basketball. You look at the job that Eric Musselman has done there in Fayetteville, getting people really jacked up about basketball again, and it's fun. It's a fun.
Well, it's just the difference. Like she was talking about, like a line and people camping out on a Wednesday. I mean, I know we played on a Tuesday, but I looked around the stadium and it was still, kind of empty, but it's going to get there. Once you win, everybody shows up. I mean, I think they're almost sold out for Memphis. My thing is, I mean, being a little bit more fan friendly as far as like, I paid $10 for a 16-ounce beer. I mean, like, just do like maybe $5 beers, or just somehow, get, I don't know. I guess they don't want people to go in and pound a bunch of beers, but I mean, it definitely helps when, to promote, to drink 2 beers, instead of 20, without losing your finger.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen. He's won everywhere he's ever been. He's going to win at Ole Miss too. It's just going to take a minute. You don't build it overnight. If it were that easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would win, and it takes a minute. And
you almost can with the transfer portal and stuff like that. You can get the players you want. You can, scout and look at the transfer portal. You literally can, almost do it overnight. And I almost think you can. I mean,
yeah, you can, but
that's how good he is.
You still got to build culture and some of those things, and with fans, getting fans to buy in and come, that does take some time. You got to there's a proof of concept that you have to show that.
Well, if we beat Memphis Saturday, that'll be I think it's going to be a build it, you come sort of deal. They'll definitely start coming.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. All right, Greg, people are getting ready to make their holiday orders. I know Christmas is about a little over 3.5 weeks away, I guess, as we tape this. How can people get in touch with you, and how early do they need to get in touch with you to get ready for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day?
Yeah, I don't know what the order schedule is going to be with Christmas, but always call the store, 662-259-2999. I had an Instagram message a little bit while ago. I was just like, told her we had what she was looking for. Just call the store, and that way we can get her name and number when she wants to pick it up. So it's always helpful whenever we know what we can get. So I just got done making ribeye sausage, spicy ribeye, flying pig, and Swayze. And then I also made spicy Hawaiian and andouille. And I think I'm going to make some smoked chicken jalapeno. So I just got to clean the grinder and, just grinding away. It's that time of year where people want beef tenderloins, standing rib roast. I had a lady that wanted a crown pork roast. So it's a pork roast that's Frenched out to where so we can do that. We just need to know how many bones and stuff like that. So we'll definitely do beef tenderloins this week. We do a lot of beef tenderloins and standing rib roast. So just steadily getting the store stocked up. It's that time of year. Time flies when you have fun. You said we wait for football season to get here, and it seems like it takes forever to get here. And then when it finally gets here, you're like, wait, that was the last game. So just time flies when you have fun.
There's no question about that. All right. What do you have planned for the weekend, both of you? Anything big? Any big adventures?
Studying.
Yeah, you're getting close to finals, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's y'all's break? How long is y'all's break? Is it like Ole Miss's break?
Like a month. It's crazy. Which Ole Miss, I think their finals are next week. They normally end like a week before us. So ours aren't next week, but the next. But a lot of professors like to have them earlier than finals, which I don't mind. So like I had one yesterday, and then I have one Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So
and then you're going back early for intersession, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are the kids? How are the kids?
They're good. I'm excited to see them. I haven't seen them in a while. I don't know what we're gonna do today, because last time we did a Thanksgiving themed dance day. So I don't know.
Can't think of anything. I was thinking about going down to New Orleans to see my filly, check on her. That was an experience. I've never been. I mean, that was wild going to owning a horse and showing your pass to the security guy, and then standing in the paddock. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I was more nervous than she was, for sure.
Yeah, probably. So I would be.
For sure, I drank like 6 beers in like 5 minutes. I was freaking out. I was very fortunate my buddy was there, but that was fun. So I think she might be running in a couple weeks. So waiting to go down there and do that. That would be fun to do Christmas at the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like fun. All right, listen. Thanks to both of you for your time. As always, enjoy the next couple of weeks. Caroline, good luck with your exams. Greg, I know you're about to get super busy, so we'll check back in a couple of weeks or so. All the bowls will get set. We'll get some lines, and we'll make we'll do our big bowl Christmas extravaganza show one more time in the month of December. So for Greg Jones, for Caroline McCready, I'm Neil McCready. That does it for this edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. Don't forget to check out LB's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. Until next time, take care.